Hey there, quirky people! I am your host, Anna, and today we're going to talk about Thor 4's post-credit scenes. Thor Love and Thunder is finally out, and it left us completely surprised with everything that happened at the end. Taika Waititi made drastic changes in Thor's life in Ragnarok, and he has done the same in Thor Love and Thunder. Spoiler warning for those who haven't seen the movie yet, go watch it already and find out the true meaning of love and thunder. The movie ended with Gorr's daughter returning as a form of eternity. And now with everyone close to Thor leaving him, he has found love, quite literally. He's become Uncle Thor to Gorr's daughter, Love, who is played by India Rose Hemsworth, that is Chris Hemsworth's daughter. And we'll see him experience fatherhood as the two continue their journey as Love and Thunder. No matter what you thought of Thor 4, you have to agree that this final reveal was beautiful. And after the surprise came the post-credit scenes of the film. The first one started off revealing how Zeus was still alive. Before the movie came out, people had presumed that since Gorr is the god butcher, he might attack Omnipotent City to kill all gods, or at least he'd end up killing Zeus, since Russell Crowe had a very small filming schedule. But to everyone's surprise, it was Thor who killed Zeus and escaped with his thunderbolt. He proved to be the true god of thunder. But then, Zeus was revealed to be alive, and he was super angry about what Thor did. He was angry about the fact that people had lost their belief in true gods, as they had begun to follow superheroes. Thor is a Norse god, but the current generation knows him as a superhero, as an Avenger. So to make people fear the might of gods once again, Zeus is sending his demigod son Hercules after Thor. This is where the god of strength made his MCU debut, and he is played by Brett Goldstein from Ted Lasso. Now we're going to see the Battle of Might in Thor 5 as Hercules is set to tussle with the god of thunder. Those of you who were worried about Brett Goldstein not being big enough to take on Thor, there is no need to fret over this, as his body and size have been enhanced with CGI and camera work. So he's going to appear as tall as Thor, if not even bigger than him. But before I move on to the final scene of the movie, I'd also like to tell you that Thor 5's title may have been revealed already. Back in Thor Ragnarok, Taika Waititi originally shot a different death scene of Odin. In this alternate take, Thor and Loki found Odin stranded as a drunk old man on the streets of New York. This is where Hela emerged and killed Odin. But before that, focus on these posters behind Thor. One of them has Thunder Love written on them. And what is the title of Thor 4? Obviously, it was Love and Thunder. Now focus on the posters to the left of Thunder Love. You can easily make out Journey into Mystery written on those posters. So my friends, Thor Journey into Mystery could very well be the title of Thor 5. I say this because Thor even fought Hercules in the Journey into Mystery comics storyline. So Thor vs. Hercules was going to be teased all the way back in Thor Ragnarok. But the scene got deleted. Okay now, enough about the first scene. The next one starts off with Jane being accepted into Valhalla, that is the Asgardian afterlife. Her demise was similar to Odin and Frigga, as those two also turned into glowing dust when they died. This ending was foreshadowed right from the beginning, as Jane was always going to die because of her cancer. And Valkyrie even suggested that since she became a Thor, she could now die in battle and end up in Valhalla. And that's what happened as she appeared in the afterlife and met Heimdall straight away. He thanked her for saving her son Axel. And now he would guide her further into the great halls where she might feast with Odin and other Asgardian warriors. The Asgardian rules of Valhalla are that warriors can only go to Valhalla if they die during battle and not after it. And Jane was accepted into this afterlife because even though she didn't die in a physical battle, her demise came while participating in a mental and emotional battle to persuade Gorr to not kill the gods. And that made her worthy of entering Valhalla despite not being an Asgardian to begin with. But with this ending, people were left asking whether Jane could return. Well, I'd say that Thor Love and Thunder was a means to give Jane Foster a nice send-off from the MCU. Natalie Portman parted ways with the MCU after The Dark World as she wasn't seen in Ragnarok. But Taika convinced her to return in a much more elevated role one last time. She got to be more than just a supporting love interest. This movie brought her into the spotlight as the mighty Thor. She became a superhero herself. And she got to make the big sacrifice play to give us a bittersweet ending. She died, but then she ended up in heaven. This should and probably would mark the end of her story. But if Marvel wants her to return, then they could follow what happened in the comics. Over there, when Jane died in a similar fashion during her cancer arc, Thor refused to accept that she was gone. He used the power of Mjolnir, and at the same time, Odin made some efforts from Valhalla to allow Jane to come back to life. She returned and became a Valkyrie. She continued to fight for good. And since MCU's Valkyrie called Jane a sister of hers, Maybe this could be a future that we get to witness. After all, Valhalla is also known to be a place for warriors to wait after death until they return to fight at the end of the world. So the likes of Jane and Heimdall could be waiting to return. But it seemed like Thor had accepted Jane's demise. He was okay with it, and he had found new love, who very much came to life because of Jane's efforts. So he won't go back to seek the love of Jane Foster. Her presence in Valhalla should be permanent, and we should not expect to see the return of Natalie Portman or even Idris Elba in the MCU. Okay, that's all from the post-credit scenes of Thor: Love and Thunder. Are you excited for Thor 5 after this one? And do you want to see the return of the mighty Thor? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to check out some more fun content on our channel. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!